All right, you're welcome to the Polity this beautiful Tuesday afternoon in the center of unity, the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria, most popularly known as Abuja. And we're broadcasting live from the Abuja studio of Kaftan TV, King Adebayo Film and Theatre Arts Network Television. And my name is Dayo Omoogun. And I have with me some fantastic public affairs analysts, and they are men of many parts, but we just want to stay put on the public affairs part of them. And from my far right, I have Adeolu Adeyemo, very funny gentleman. He can be very passionate about Nigerian issues, and sometimes if his colleague does not get out of the way, he might want to stretch his hand. So you're welcome, Adeolu.
Thank you very much. Sebi is your time today.
Good. And then right in the middle next to me you have I call him MKO, but this is not the MKO, you know. This one is attempting MKO, but his name his name is Moses Kolawole Obisesan, and he's a fantastic public affairs analyst, also man of many parts, but we just limited to that for this show. You're welcome, Moses.
Thank you very much.
All right,
great to be here.
All right. And so today we'll be talking about two issues. The first one has to do with today is Children's Day, and children are quite very important in the scheme of things in any part of the world whatsoever. And so we celebrate them today, and part of celebrating them is to see where we can do better for them. And so what are we looking at? How to stop the problem of parental neglect. We have a situation today where a whole lot of parents believe that once they pay school fees, everything about the raising of the child is the business of the school. And that's a huge failure, because there are a whole lot of things that children should be taught from home. Simple etiquettes, for example, small pieces of culture, socialization into society, all kinds of and very crucial things. Those are not supposed to be the entire business of schools. And so those are some of the things we'll look at. You will also see that parents are also failing in their duty in sending children to school, in providing upkeep, and so on. And so first of all, before we go into the analysis, we will run this brief report, and then thereafter we'll continue.
Some parents are not able to pay their children's school fees, while some are not able to afford 3 square meals for their children a day. Some children goes to the streets to hawk for food for their own well-being, while some goes to the streets to go and beg for money to be able to feed for themselves as almajiris. So when we were in Goodluck Jonathan period, we have the SFP, the school feeding program. We ensure that children have their good feeding, but now the activities are not being done. The government should be able to provide for the. Some parents are not able to pay their children's school fees, while some are not able to afford 3 square meals for their children a day. Some children goes to the streets to hawk for food for their own well-being, while some goes to the streets to go and beg for money to be able to feed for themselves as almajiris. So when we were in Goodluck Jonathan period, we have the SFP, the school feeding program. We ensure that children have their good feeding, but now the activities are not being done. The government should be able to provide for the. Some parents are not able to pay their children's school fees.
All right, so you heard that report. You heard that young man there talking about how parents are unable to pay school fees. Some are unable to provide even food or basic needs and all that. And so today, the emphasis, the angle that from which we want to look at this is parental neglect in all its ramifications. Don't forget that it is this same country where you have, the statistics, you don't even know what to pick. Sometimes the United Nations will say we have 16 million out of school children.
Yeah.
And that's still part of parental neglect.
Yeah.
There are children who have never experienced love.
Ever.
They were just born and they just found themselves on the streets.
Yeah.
And so when you find this kind of people I mean, you can see why there's a ready army of criminals, of people who have little or no feelings.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's how society has dealt with them, and when they have opportunity to pay back, they pay back very handsomely. And you understand what I mean. And so let me start by saying, what can we do to help parents? Because some parents, I believe it's out of ignorance. I believe it's out of ignorance. I suddenly realized there's a school in Abuja right now called Parents Academy. Parents Academy, where they teach parents how to raise their children. Incidentally, some of the operatives there, some of the people are young adults, far younger than those they are trying to teach. So, which is the power of knowledge. It defies age. Now, so what can we do? Or first of all, what are the areas of parental neglect that you have noticed? Adeolu.
Okay, so I think for this angle, first, happy Children's Day.
All right.
To all our children. That was the first thing I did this morning, to greet them, love on them. The issue of parental neglect. See, my own cry every day. Let me just tell you. I'm not talking about the children that are with fathers and mothers or with mother. I'm talking about those children on the street that I see every day in their hundreds. You see them different corners in Abuja doing nothing, carrying plates, moving up and down. That, you just said it now, that is a future bomb, because from carrying plates to moving from one corner to another, when there is nothing to do, they will turn to truck pusher. From being truck pusher, they become, what do you call them? These are the people that they now move into becoming the enemy of the state.
Right. Yeah.
So my own concern is about them. Yes, our children at home that are okay, we still need to pay more attention to them. Right. But this particular one, see, these are our own children that we are raising, that we are spending money on. If we want them to have a beautiful future, we need to help these people on the street.
All right.
Because look at what's going on now. The rich are also crying because of Boko Haram, because of X-Men, because of all the society problems we are having today, insecurity. It is all born out of neglect by whoever. The parents in the village, all those problems came out of not being able to pay attention to these children that need care, that need caution, that need to be educated and give a better future. And that's why I will still forever give this kudos to Jonathan. What he did with the Amajiris. See, please, we need to talk about these neglected children more. Our government can come in. In fact, what our motivated government is, government should, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should begin to set up like a commission for them to go after this, go to the camps where they have this plenty thousands of children, IDPs. Go there. What is going on with those children? What is going on with the children? So the parental neglect, my own emphasis is more of the street.
The street. Because
they are the only people that can cause problem for the future of our children.
Of our country. You want to add your voice?
Okay, thank you so much. Fantastic. Like my colleague said, happy Children's Day. We want to wish all Nigerian children, all the children of the world. We want to tell you that we love you so much. It's a beautiful world. just like Kaftan TV will say, imagine a beautiful world or something. So
Yeah.
the children, we need to tell them to imagine it. Yeah, maybe some of them, just like he said, never saw any beautiful world. They saw very harsh world as they were
From
coming.
birth.
From birth, it's been harsh and harsh all through. So it really, please don't give up. You can still be better. I learned when somebody said I was once an Almajiri. I was actually Mele Kyari that said it, the former group GMD, of NNPC. He said, look, I was once on the streets like you saw that. And so I rose to become the GMD of NNPC. I mean, that's one of the biggest, that's virtually the resource of Nigeria, the controlling area of Nigeria. So any of those street guys can be one. And I also know of Erastus Akingbola, the former intercontinental boss. He said, I hawk on the streets. I was selling on the street. So the issue that the statistics shows it that self-made millionaire are 98%. So the only ones that actually inherit wealth are just 2%. 98, just 2%. Yes. So the point I'm trying to say is that there's hope. There's hope. There's a lot of hope. Don't give up. Sure. Yeah, no matter how challenging it is just take them as training. Having said that, I want to say that there are 3 sets of people that will raise a very healthy kids. The very first is their parents, the father and mother, and they are very responsible at the formative age. Right. So where the child is born, shown love, cuddled, carried around, told how beautiful this world is, whisper, just generally take them around and all of that, irrespective of the money that you have. Exactly. It is not the size of your pocket that make you that determine whether you're going to be a wonderful best father parent. No, it's not. Yeah, money is going to play some roles at some point, but when it comes to take care of your child, it is a responsibility, and that is why it comes to a point where the parent need education. The education needs to start from the parent, so that the parent know that, look, I have responsibility to raise up this child. And when you're not, when you're not ready, please don't bring them to the world. You don't bring them to the world. Allow them.
I think that's something that requires some advocacy.
If you're not ready, don't bring them to the world. So I would say, first, the parent, they have incredible responsibility to start the journey of a child's life. The second one is the community. Now, when I say community, not just where the kids live, in their churches, their mosques, their schools, all of that. All those actually come together to form what I would call community. For a child, for a very healthy child. He hears how people, they watch how people relate. Oh, so this is how father and mother should relate. They don't beat. They actually love upon one another. He sees fellow colleagues in the school. He sees how to relate. One wants to bully. The teacher said, no bully here. Oh, okay. So the fact that I've got muscle doesn't mean I got to clamp on my fellow. So they learn within the community, in the villages and all of that. That's why in African Balance they said, what's it called? It's a community that raises the child. So we still believe very much in that. And then finally, the role of the government. All right. The role of the government is extremely crucial. That is where the issue of regulation, the issue of putting infrastructures, the educational infrastructure, the even wealth creation, making sure that you don't have abject poverty so much and then you have affluence so much. The divide shouldn't be this much. There should be a way that we have the wealth and the resources of this great country go around. It should not just be on one side. These kids, they need to see that, there is fairness in the country. All of those regulations and making sure things go around the way it needs to be, they reside with the government. So there are 3 set of people, and each of them have got roles cut out for them. And we need to just look at them as we play along. Right.
Very fantastic. Yeah. Except that on this particular session today, we just want to narrow down and focus on the parents. Okay. We just want to narrow down and focus on the parents. Yeah. Now you have a situation where, like I said at the beginning, parents, I mean, you just, pointed out something that is not the size of your pocket.
Correct.
You don't need money to sit down your child and tell him what goes on in the world.
Correct.
To tell him about fairness, about equity, about justice, about love.
A lot.
You don't need money.
Yeah.
But you find out that a lot of parents are failing on this.
Yeah.
You don't need money to tell your child that when an elder comes in,
Yeah.
he should rise to greet,
Yeah.
and that he should wait for the hand to be stretched to him before he stretches out his hand.
Yeah.
Little, those courtesies, those etiquettes.
Yeah.
You don't need money.
Yeah.
So I think that a whole lot, because you see, again, especially like you also identified, the parents are the base, the foundation. You can't build anything without a good foundation.
Exactly.
So that's very crucial. So I like us to focus a lot on the parents. There are several things that you have seen. Was it the other day, was it you and I and somebody who was saying how children will pass you?
Yes, I'm going there. Because
go ahead.
I'm going there. See. So I like your introduction. When a child is raising a child, is the problem we're having now.
Correct.
Come on.
And I kudos to that school that is
in Abuja now.
In Abuja, that is
academy.
Teaching the small children parents. Because see, listen to me. I'm afraid of the next generation that is coming.
Yes.
Sir, the reason why we have it this way is because parents fail.
Yeah. That's it. You are correct.
When a father is smoking in front of a child, is drinking in front of a child, a father is beating the woman in front of a child, a father does not know what it means to be conscious or to apply courtesy. Wait, what are you expecting the child to do?
Because
it's not been told.
They learn more from others.
They are hero.
Exactly.
Like I was telling my boy, which day was that last week, I said, listen, my father taught me how to pray.
Yeah.
Yes, he will tell me, Dayo, you want this? Go and pray. Daddy will bring it. Tell God to provide for daddy. Sir, that was the foundation. So every time he calls me and I say, you know the rules. He said, Daddy, yes, go and pray. That you need, Daddy will bring. And it's getting neat now.
Yeah.
See, if you don't put that foundation down, you have a failed society.
That's it.
Because
which is part of what we're experiencing even now.
It's what is going on. Because the parents do not know. If a parent does not know what to do, how to do for children, you don't expect miracle to happen to that child.
Yeah.
The child need to look at someone to follow the child, the
person.
To be able to say, okay, this is how I was taught. It's why when it was my son was saying, okay, I want to go and do my university in the UK, I said, okay, you stay here. Have the full culture first. Because I have the situation where over there you are not allowed to spank a child.
Yes.
Boy, you will receive slap. he knows. He will tell you that 2 years old, you don't receive plenty slap. But no, I can't even remember the last time I heard that.
You did, right?
He's got it. He will see you. He will bow. It's the training.
Yeah. It is.
And you see,
words are mostly from the home.
It's from home.
The Bible says, spare the rod
and spoil the child. Train up a child in the way that he should go,
and he will not depart from it.
It's the training.
It's a key thing. In fact, there's with all due respect to those who don't believe in this, my own philosophy is that a child should not leave their home until they get their first degree.
Exactly.
I thought I was the only one.
No. For me, I told my kids, I said, your nursery school, I take you to the school. I was taking them. I'll take them to the nursery Nursery is just 1 or 2 years before they start whatever. If because of work, so you take them down. I'll bring them back. Thank you. Then primary, I'll take them to school. I'll bring them. They say they want to go to boarding. I'm sorry, I do not believe in nursery.
No, in boarding
school.
Especially now.
You don't even know what they're teaching them there. They are themselves and all of that.
This is getting really exciting.
That's why initially I didn't even want to go there. I said, Moses, don't bring something that is controversial. No, I'm coming. But when you now say talk as a parent, I'm a parent of kids, and I know what goes wrong. So I say, they say they want to go to boarding. I say no way. In this house, no boarding school for your primary, no boarding school for your secondary.
Thank you.
They say they want to do their first degree. I say you do it right there.
You do it here.
Where I can go and check you. This evening I could drive down to my kid's school and see him.
That's it.
And love upon him. And he sent the text, Daddy, I had first class 4.7. I said, I'm coming over to your school to come and encourage you to just come and do more. He said, Dad, that would be nice, Dad. So the issue I'm saying is that you don't understand the value of that.
Exactly.
I am coming now. So it's not like, we'll see 5 years on the road. You are not exactly. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes just pop in. I won't even tell him that I'm around and
I'll pop in. I don't announce it.
Yeah, you don't announce it. University.
At university.
I say when you want to do your masters, amen. You can go anywhere. God watch over you.
That the parents have done best.
But when you give back to them, and because you are chasing your own dream, you leave them to the vices of the
Let me share this. Talking about this boarding part of it. At a point, my son,
school, the private school. No.
This is not even a private school. You know, when I think it was Erufai who upgraded a lot of the FCT schools, so people began to now rush into them. So at a point, I brought my son to. There's this FCT school, something in this Buhari on the way to. I mean, as you move out of Buhari,
going to Kaduna or something.
Exactly, I think on that axis. There's this beautiful school, good for a public school. And then I put my son there. That boy didn't last more than, was it a term or 2 terms or 1 session? We had to go and remove him quickly. You know what?
Wow.
They were about to begin to introduce him to sodomy. Whoa! In this place in Abuja here, the boy cried out because again I would always just drive there and say, hey, what's happening? Then I knew a teacher there. It was through that teacher that I even also got. So when I heard it, the boy left almost immediately when we heard it, and that was it. And so it gave us an insight into the going. Okay, Federal Government College, Ibilo. My daughter was to go there. Look at the kind of nonsense things that were also happening. Cutting the hair of the girl when she was asleep. I mean, all kinds of things. We had to remove her. These are the reasons why very scared about boarding system. So boarding system imagine if the parent doesn't even follow. Imagine if the parent is not eagle-eyed. Or it's not concerned.
My kids went to
most of the offshoot of what we have now. Check boarding.
A lot. Yes.
From nanny and child. From child to boarding. Primary school. From boarding to secondary school.
Boarding.
Okay, wait. From nanny.
Can you imagine?
Because both of them are not around. Exactly. It's a nanny that is raising. Then the secondary school, from primary school, boarding straight. Secondary school, boarding straight. So tell me, what would that child look like?
Do you know something? At one of my birthday, at one of my birthday, they were asking my first daughter. They were asking her. I said, "What really?" She was just sharing. I was almost moved to tears. They said, "My father will always be around in our birthdays." I was like, wow. Even me, I didn't know that I was. I was not doing it normally. 1, 2, 3, all of them went same primary, the same secondary, you know, before they now went to different. The first one is in Unilad, you know, studying law. The second one now in what's it called? You know, 3 of them different universities. But during the nursery, the primary, the secondary school age, I'll take them down. I'll bring them.
You see,
and so they were saying, they said you have. I'm telling you, if you see child telling me, oh, this was happening, can you do this one, can you do this? They carry along. They will ask you questions. But when you just give birth to them, with all due respect, guys, I understand that it might be tough for single parents. I know that it might be tough for very major career parents and all of that. But I'm telling you that let us bequeath to the next generation giants that will be able to withstand, that will be, let them be assets to the next generation. That can stand, and the asset is on their own. Let me tell you something. The asset is not the level of money you give to your child. It is the level of ability to even convert those whatever to bigger growth. Because you know the challenge they have. A lot of people, you know, they call us strong men actually give birth to weak. Exactly. That's because already if they are too strong, the child doesn't provide everything. If you check, look at nature. Do you realize that lion cubs will close their eyes for days, for weeks, for months? They don't open their eyes because they'll just be suckling. Their father is too powerful. Nobody can touch a lion. You can't. But go and see the gazelle. I mean, all of these antelopes. Yes. Go and see their kids. As they are giving birth to them, dropping in the few survive. He gets up and he runs and begin to run on your own. Follow the mother. If it gets up and follow, because he knows that my life is an instinct. My life is innate. So they understand. When you don't teach people the street smartness, the street wisdom, they will, all the wealth you want to give to them will not matter at the end. Okay, let me see a lot of people whose name I don't want to mention the one that. Don't mention. Look at the afterward. Yeah. Exactly. Nothing. None of them were able to rise up to that shoe. The shoe was still latching.
Have you noticed that it is a lot of times it is the children of the super rich that get into, for example, drugs, addiction. Yeah. Because you know why? Because they are bored. Yes.
A school invited me in Lagos. Yeah. They said, see, this is the problem we're having. We're told that you can help us mold them. These are rich children. But the sodomy, the drugs, all the bad things of life is in this school. Private school.
Yeah.
And it's hosted.
Yeah.
What can you do for us? I said the first thing is, who are your teachers? The orientation of the teachers. So I first did that. I told her, the children, I like them. So that we can do proper orientation. Then it is a one-on-one discussion first. Yeah. To engage them. And when I started engaging them, sir, come and hear stories. And that was when I know that we are in trouble. Yeah. Because, listen, before you see a self-made boy from middle class come to power, it's a bit hard. Yeah. The rich are the ones that, okay, you see, the president is pulling Sheyi now. Yes. If Sheyi is not properly brought up, you have raised another bad leader. Yeah. Yes. True. Correct. And that is exactly what is going on now. They are lifting up their children now to take over their space. And some of those children have not been well raised. Yeah. And it's a sad future. Yeah. I mean, there is one particular one. He said, the teacher said, he will always be the girls in the school. Because when I engage him, he told me, he said, Daddy beats mom almost every day. Wow. So he thinks that it was just okay. Yeah. So if they talk to me anyhow, I slap them. Yeah. I said, so when you slap them, how do you feel? See, at times I feel bad. I said, that is not at times. You should always feel bad. that is a weak man that beat a lady.
Yeah.
So total orientation of that guy, and the teacher came out and said, "What did you do?" See, if we have time to engage them more, these children will turn out well.
Fantastic. Yeah.
True. Parents really need to spend more time. Look at some children that have been abused, girls, for example, female children. A lot of times they are trying to reach out to their parents, but many times we have had cases where the mother says, "I'm busy. Oh, I'm tired. You know, I've been seriously busy all day."
Economically, economy is also contributing to this.
It is.
Because when the parent is always on the run, looking for money, and like you said, let not money be the yardstick.
Exactly.
To neglecting the children. You know why? Because when you always want to give, okay, a parent told me last week, they are in UK. It's meant to pay almost 12 million. It's choked. It's a friend. I say, Yomi, bring them back home. I say, Adeolu, why are you doing like this now? I say, Yomi, you are dying. Yomi, you are dying. You are losing these children if you are not careful. That's double jeopardy. Already.
Yeah.
He called me 2 days after. I said, Adeolu, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Because you know why? He believed that it is when you send them away to give them that education,
that exposure.
Sir, it's a lie.
It's a lie.
Many times they get it gets counterproductive.
He's sick.
Yeah.
He's borrowing money everywhere.
Yeah.
It's messed up his names.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What are we talking about here?
And then at the end of the day, the people he has spent those huge fortunes on still don't turn out well.
John children came back when John passed on in another firm to come and sell the house.
Yeah.
To go back.
Wow. They just came. So
they just did the burial and said, "We're not staying here. No, if you want to come, you come." John died as a result of the panic, stress, loan to build this house. They came down to Nigeria, sold the house, and they left.
That's it. You see,
there's
a Yoruba adage.
Warning to the
there's a Yoruba they say,
parents.
"Ọmọ tako, ló máa gbé ilé takọta."
Ọmọ
tako ló máa gbé ilé takọta. What it simply means is that the child that you fail to raise up properly will sell the house that you are building now.
You think you are building for him?
You think you are building for him? Sell it up. All of these examples are found. You're not training them, and you think whatever. No. And what I say, training, people think just school. When you get to certificate, they say this child has been. This person has been found to be worthy of this degree in character and learning. But a lot of us forget nobody looking for character now. Nobody says character. So until we see that, look, in character and in learning, if you don't have the two, if you don't strike a healthy balance, my kids went to one of the most disciplined school. They call it CSS, Community Secondary School in Asokoro. Fantastic school. In fact, when somebody initially first of all, and I'm kudos to their teachers and to that school, if you're hearing, Community Secondary School in Asokoro, fantastic. You know what? When we got there, they will just tell you, they'll give you all of the rules. Papa, you can't bring phone, you can't do this one, you cannot do that one, you can't. We are just thought, how can you say? It's a school meant for the DSS, this or whatever. So, but they allow other kids to come in. So, when we just got there, before you knew it, I became the PRO of the association, just PTA, so that I can really understand what's going on. Anywhere I am, I want to know what's going on. So I now challenge them. I say, why do you have to? They will seize the phone no matter the amount. If you can take your father's phone to the school and it's 10 million, my brother, in your face, they will put it in the mortar and pound it. Good. I felt that was harsh.
No.
Good.
They need to enforce the rule.
That was something. Me, I challenge you. I said that's harsh.
I say maybe the father never and say yes, whatever doesn't make him to know. Because they realize what they were doing with those phones when they showed me some things that they were sending. They call it sexting. Sexting. That if you see what they do with the phone, it's they don't get it. When he say what in school, he said yes. He said, you know something, we've drawn the line, and that's it. We give you the rules from the beginning. That's it. If it is DSS, they collect the child's whatever, they pound it. They don't take nonsense from that. And that has given a level of stability and level of preparedness to our kids even as they go elsewhere. All I'm trying to say is that the formative years are very key. That is very important. That if you miss it at the primary, if you miss it at the primary and secondary school,
that's where most children derail. A child is formed at 7. That's max 8.
Yeah.
And if you do not get it right at that level, you have lost that child.
If you feel like you are, I think the parents neglect. But again, I haven't said all this to say how terrible things are. We also must now look at an average Nigerian parent. What really, just looking at, how to help them.
Exactly. I think we need to go there because
we're
you hinted at it.
Yes.
Was it you or him?
Yes.
That part of the problem is the economy.
Economy. I know.
How much will you actually earn now to be able to really provide and send
children? We are going to go there.
So we need to go there.
We are going to go there.
Meanwhile, if you're out there and you like to be part of this, just call in on 08029938365. Maybe I should slow down. 08029938365. Is that better?
Yeah.
Better. Much
better.
You
don't feel. All right. So please do call in. We expect your call right away, and the world is waiting to listen to you.
Okay. So let's come back to that economy.
Yes. So
the issue. What I will talk from experience.
Right.
I like both of you. It took me time to come to this. It was when they were in secondary school, no, primary school, towards the end of primary school, I said, Adeolu, don't live beyond your means.
That's it.
Because I remember at that time, nursery and primary, it's millions. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when I saw it was telling on my health, I said, Adeolu, stop. Did you go to
this
private nursery and primary? I said, no. So what's your problem? I call madam, there's a new law in this house. We are calling a meeting. And this new law is this bogged. And I called the children after this primary school, towards the end of this primary school, your secondary school
is public school.
That's it. You go and work hard. And I bet you will not regret it.
That's it.
And I told them also, government school.
You can take it.
Okay, we have some. Yes. Let's go.
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon.
Is it Exemplary TV?
Correct.
Go ahead.
Take that name again. I heard from it, but I didn't hear the name. I'm sorry.
Some Moyid or something.
I am Dolapo Kusoko from Ibadan.
Okay.
Kusoko. All right. Okay, Dolapo Kusoko, go on.
Yes. Like what we are discussing is of great interest.
Okay.
And we ask so many parents to retrace their steps.
When
you believe that what they went through when they were growing up, their kids should not, experience such. And they are spoiling the children indirectly. God bless you. Long life. Captain TV. And the children's data.
Thank you very much, Kosoko.
Thank you. So at that level, they wrote. A friend of mine introduced me to Nigeria Air Force. He said, let them write where they can be allowed in the Nigeria Air Force. They wrote, and I told both of them, I said, you must pass. They wrote and they entered, and that was where God changed my life. As they entered secondary school, it became stressless. They left secondary school, it became stressless. So the word is this: let parents. I told my boy, I said, even though you are an officer, but the fact remains that, because he will tell me, say, this school has they actually reshape his life.
Correct.
Because it's a no-nonsense school.
Correct.
It's a military school.
Yeah.
It reshaped my life.
Yeah.
Daddy, thank you for allowing us come here.
Yeah. You see?
So what I'm trying to say is, I will have been looking for millions upon millions in secondary school to pay bills. How will you do it? So let parents cut their coat according to their jacket.
Correct. Yeah.
So cut your coat according to your jacket. Many parents are killing themselves. I mean, you just said it.
Yeah.
They are killing themselves from the weight of school fees, whereas there are options.
What you cannot afford those.
That is why I will take it from where you stopped. I said the number one thing that we need to do is parental education. If we must solve this problem, it is parental education. We need, most of the parents need education. I love what the caller said. He said because some parents went through a lot, so they are saying no, my child must not go through this. Which, if you look at it from somehow, it's not a bad thing to aspire to say, okay, I don't want my child to struggle so much. But if you also do now, if while you're trying to shield them, you now shield them totally away from ability to press, to push, to do something, to be hardworking, to get something,
you make them empty shells.
Yes, it will now be.
That's how what you said ahead before. Yeah. That's how it works out.
Correct.
How strong men
give birth to weak
children.
In fact, do you know what somebody said? He said there are 3 generations. He said the first generation is the builder, the second generation is just maintenance, the third generation they sell it off.
Plunderer.
They just sell it off. They don't even get it. They just see money everywhere. Wow.
What is all this? You know,
as at that time, their world is different from your world.
It's different.
You think that wow, Palacio.
Yeah, exactly. You see, what kind of thing is this?
Please let me bring it down. And that is what you killed yourself to do. Now, there's nothing wrong about being your very best as a parent. Yeah. Nothing wrong. Yeah. We are saying carry them along.
We're saying build character. Build spiritually.
Yes.
Not just, material possessions and all that.
My son came from school one time after some friends and all of that. He just told me, my last boy, from university. He said, Dad, I said, yeah. He leaves his afro like this. He said, Dad, I want to plait my hair. And first of all, look, where is he coming from? No. Okay, you want to plait your hair? I said, that's nice. I like it. He said, Dad, I said, yeah, I like it. He said, oh, so can he do it? I said, sure, you can. He was shocked. He was looking at, where is this man going?
There must be a catch.
I said, but do they allow you to plait your hair in school? He said, no, they really go against
that.
Okay, but you want to plait it at home? I said, yes. He said, so what exactly, what's
intend to achieve?
So I just told him, I said, there's nothing wrong, but once you start plaiting your hair, there won't be need for me to pay your school fees anymore. Because that means you've arrived now. You have already
you landed your own.
I said,
it's your decision.
It's a decision. I said, he said, but why? I said, look, personally, there's no big deal about that. I said, but we have Nigeria. We're still a bit conservative.
Yeah.
You're getting to somewhere, and somebody, why is your
Obisesan?
Why is this one? I don't want to be explaining too much. I don't know what the Nigerian. That's unfair. I said, yeah, if you start making it means that you're a man.
Yes, you're your own, please.
I'm paying your school fees and you cannot follow my rules now. I said, why are they not allowing you in school? Not because it's a sin by itself. Because I said, but they realize that it distracts you.
It distracts you. It distracts other people.
I told the mom. I said, honey, look at Nkoje. You are such a busy woman, and all of that. I said, cut your hair. Initially they feel like, I said, I love it. Is it not me that you're doing the record? I said, man, go do a low, beautiful record. He said, are you sure? I took her to the barber. I told her, I said, look, some of these things are excessive.
Do you hear it now?
Whatever are
And it's not
distractions.
a question of there's no money.
No,
Many times people are struggling. People are struggling and are stressed themselves.
You are going.
You know something. You know why she accepted?
Let me tell you, your Kolawole you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Have you seen most of the dresses she wears?
Very simple. She boarded the train in UK. I mean, the issue there is that look, where they are serious, they don't have time for this.
Exactly.
Too much of frivolities. You know, the reason why it was easy for me to be able to tell my wife that is that she could understand. That's why I talked about educating the parental education.
Very important.
She's not first of all that does not reduce her person.
It does not.
She's a senior consultant, medical, whatever.
Sir.
Doing very well in her.
The truth
So you know that I just told her, I say, where you go? I say, look at professionals that are hitting the roof, that are going global. I say, look at the way they are. I say, how many times
Simple.
Executive.
Who are you trying to impress?
I say, look at Executive, you just got there. She's going.
Who are you trying to impress?
Easy because their content is not in how they look.
It's in what they
Yeah, delivering exactly.
See,
So for
This is very important for parents. Because even as parents, a lot of parents cannot pay school fees.
Yeah.
There are parents who must buy Asoebi every two weeks. Asoebi every 2 weeks and attend every party.
You know something?
And you know this one. I'm coming after the men.
Yeah.
When you saw her flamboyant, you go enter. You go flamboyant. And you flamboyant in your life. This is the truth is this. We know what see, I always say this. Men knows women that are rough materials.
Yeah.
When you see somebody that is beyond what you is beyond your energy, and you go enter, you are started digging your grave.
Yeah.
Because now you go kill yourself.
Exactly. And once, for example, you now get into that union and you guys are not together, that's the beginning of the failure of parenting.
You can never be together because
not be able to raise
you don't have the same ideology.
Exactly. Exactly.
Do you know
as long as you don't have the same ideology, the home will fail.
It will fail.
Because when you
say
father,
let's do A,
the mother will say no.
Is B.
You know my policy right now for this Asoebi you said. I told my wife, I said I don't buy Asoebi anymore. He said, why?
I have never been.
It's gradually that you have to help. I say, you know what, honey, I won't buy Asoebi anymore. I say, I can take that money and help the person who is doing something or do whatever. I said, because I won't wait. After buying that stuff, I won't.
It doesn't fit into your. I
say, you know what? I have all shades of Agbada. The best I can do with you, maybe I get a cap. So when I get a cap, I know that I can still be using the cap. But that your I mean, it may not just fit into the So if you check, apart from Sunday, even the Agbada I have, apart from Sunday, there's no way.
We as a parent, need to now call ourselves to order.
Yeah.
Because most of the problems that we see in our society today is caused by the parents.
That's it. That's it. That's
our inability to talk to ourselves.
Yeah.
Because see, I always say this. That self-assessment of changing your pattern from wrong to right is what is lacking.
I mean, imagine, for example, that while the team was already choking you, you continue to pay for private school. And then one day you have to sell your property.
We have lost
in order to.
So we have lost many fathers because of that.
Exactly, have died because of that.
Because of that, and they are the ones that carry the problem to put on their neck,
on themselves,
which were not necessary.
So parents, I'm sure
there's nothing wrong in aspiring. We're not saying don't to aspire.
Exactly, that you can distill from.
We're not saying it. Go anywhere in the world, you see Nigerians as one of the best crops, the best brain, and they are all most of the time from public schools.
Correct.
Exactly.
Correct.
Over 90%
of those
this is not public schools. Go anywhere.
This is not about dumping down.
No, we're not.
But this is the practical reality.
Yes, reality.
Look, there was a particular survey done at one particular year. I'm talking about
raw data.
You know something? Raw data. They checked. Look, not just only public school, most of the big public school, where you think that people will get lost inside, that's where you get most of those guys who are doing great. Because they would have taught you how to live, how to wake up, how to do it. You would have not only
discipline.
Yes, discipline of being able to wake up in the morning. You don't wake up quickly, you fail. So when I tell anybody, I say, when my daughter first of all got to Unilag, my first girl, Daddy, sometimes you be crying on the phone, I just be laughing. You are just. As if I don't care. I say, baby, you're learning. And look, Bible says no discipline seems pleasant at the beginning. But later it produces harvest of righteousness. So for those who have been trained by it. I say, don't worry. You are learning. Hey, the lecturers will just come. They will not tell her. They just do it. Later now, she's a baby lawyer. This is her last, final year she's getting now. I said, now, she has forgotten when she was crying on phone. Right. She's not alone. Exactly. So all I say there is that, you know what, guys? Parents, even if you sell, even if what you're doing, look, God will bless that. Just prioritize raising your children. That's it. And I really also want to just say that I don't know how we can only look at the parental neglect alone without also seeing how they can be enhanced. Yes, because I'm going to say something. Economically, he has spoken about that, but also educationally, yes, I'm talking about that. Then again, we also have because in the economic area, government might be thinking, so how can I help, a struggling family? You see what there's actually one thing that part of it is to truly enforce real quality free education at the low level. So look at what government is saying right now when they say there is a 75,000 being given to the poorest of the poor, 25. That's a fantastic thing if really the database is correct. If it is not just that giving to the boys, so I'm saying that for the economic support, we're talking about you can have affordable housing. Exactly. Instead of that, government is very important. It's very important because sometimes I won't giving it to the parents, who should do something they are not doing. We also need to look at where the policies. Some people in the government, they pocketed most of the money to have been used. That should have gone round. Yes. And so you leave all of these parents, in abject poverty. They can't take care of themselves, so they just how can they not take care of the children? They give plates to the kids to be on the street. Then also policies in the area of how many children to have. I think that's very crucial now. Because we see, I know that the elites are getting it right now. Correct. But you see those village people, they see. Okay, I was telling somebody. I said, when he called me, he said, okay, it was a school feast time. I said, it's an extended family, and he said, Daddy, they call me Big Daddy. He said, Big Daddy, your children are entering school. I said, guy, I've told you, I've taken two from you. Don't come back to me. You have 7. Yeah, I have just 2. Yeah, but if your own just 2. The one that doesn't have money has 7. I said, and then I was told that your wife is pregnant again. Don't call me, please. After today, don't call me. I said, Dad, don't call me. Yeah, I've taken 2 out of you. So that's all I can do. And that's all. A major thing. Education plays a major role. See, you know what someone said. Someone said that's what poverty does. Yeah. That's the only way by which they let us steal. So can't somebody that is poor learn that life is frustrating? That's the only way they let us steal. And then, because they are poor, they can't afford any big environment. Yeah. So if they are in one room or one and a half rooms or 2 rooms, and so by the time you turn around and like you still see the person. To be honest with you, but the truth is this: circle of poverty. There should be policy, which maybe government should just try. Because Nigerians, I don't understand where we're going. I mean, you know why? Trying to go and buy that. They say when they said in the olden days, nobody just them. It's just there. That nobody should stop them now. I said, the economy will tell you very soon. See, I think the hypocrisy on this particular matter, government has been quite hypocritical. For example, how do you say, for example, how do you say? The foreign support program is actually saying something around that. For example, there was a time under Babangida where a policy came out that you're entitled to 4 children. But they now put a clause per woman.
That.
Which means you can have 5 women who give you 4,
And that's 20 already.
No.
So it has to be per household, per man.
Yeah.
per man.
So we need to get serious about that. Even as we begin to run.
But the women too will not be going to
many men. I have fun with you.
Then it goes for everywhere. It's still not okay.
We need to begin to bring this to a close. That's the size of that segment. I hope that a whole lot has gone out and that we can take this and work with it. Our children shouldn't suffer the way they currently suffer. How can you have 12 million, whether it's 12 million, whether it's 10 million, whether it's 16 million? 1 million is bad enough
To be
on the street.
No, it's wrong.
So we really need to work on that. Have 2 children, 3 children, and run around and really take care of them. You'll enjoy your life better.
I'm telling you.
And see, prioritize your children. So the Bible says when you raise your children, they'll give you peace in old age.
Yeah.
Not the ones that you are unable to raise, and at 70 they are calling you in the police station to come and bail them.
No, it will never even get to 70. God forbid. From 50, don't. If they should not even call me from school. The day if I come to school, they call me. You know now, me, I'm a military man. I lock you up.
So we will leave it here. And we'll go to the next one after the break.
We just have
house. I'm sure the sensei in the kitchen.
Sensei? What's that again?
That's Japanese for master, babe.
Master. In whose kitchen? My kitchen. My kitchen.
Babe. Oh, I noticed tastes so good. That smell.
You're right.
Junior, back me up here, son. Kids.
So you think you're master, Abby? Prove it.
With pleasure.
Sensei.
Children.
Master instant noodles. Always a delight.
You're welcome back to the Polity, the concluding segment of this program. And we will be talking about the Africa Leadership Challenge, the Africa Leadership Question. It's something that any rational African must be bothered about. Why would a continent that is blessed with so much resources, which whether you call it human resources, mineral resources, land, everything, why should such a continent be the poverty
Capital.
center of the world? I think that every one of us should be concerned. And part of it, in fact, because they say that everything rises and falls on leadership.
Correct.
The real crux of the matter is the problem with leadership. Which comes down to the way we recruit our leadership. We recruit leadership based on sentiments. We recruit leadership based on all kinds of primordial considerations. These are issues we must begin to look at if Africa will get it right. By the way, have you noticed how it looks as if somebody like Traore of Burkina Faso seems to be inspiring a whole lot of people?
young generation.
It shows that there's something lacking, that maybe that person is, although there are circles where they say it's all propaganda, but I know it can't be 100% propaganda.
It cannot.
So there must be some elements that he's getting right.
Truth.
And if he's getting it right and it's inspiring so much awe around the continent, then there must be something that we really are in thirst of, that we really desire, and that we're not getting, and that this guy is showcasing. Again, around this same continent, you find a situation where that's him there, all right?
Yeah. Sure.
And then you have, I mean, it's becoming as if
that guy just how old now?
Whether
very young.
36, 34,
something like that.
Can you imagine?
Now, we are also bedeviled by gerontocracy, a rule by the elderly. Because as we speak in Cameroon, nearby Cameroon here, you have somebody who is 92 years, who is still on the seat, who has been there for 43 years, apart from the fact that he already spent 7 years as prime minister under the former president, Ahmadu Ahidjo. He has spent, so if you add 43, plus those 7 years as prime minister, that's 50 years.
Yeah, on the throne.
And these are people they have become disabled.
Yeah.
Sincerely.
Who sleep off during meetings that they are supposed to be leading. They sleep off routinely, regularly. How can we have the kind of leadership that we need with such kinds of people? Museveni has been in power for like 37 years in Uganda.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of these people, like Museveni, I think, transmuted from military to become civilian president.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth like that.
A lot.
Now, compare and contrast these people with the new generation of people that are coming, like Traore, like Macky Sall of Senegal, and so on. So, could it be that the key to Africa's renaissance, to Africa's reemergence, yes, could it be that it is the youth that is needed? Is that the magic wand we need?
Okay, thank you very much. Really, everything, just like you said, rise and fall with leadership, under leadership, and we have a huge leadership deficit. Like somebody said, he said, if you look at Nigeria, he said when God created this country, it was a joke. You know that it gave them everything. People were just saying, bad now. God, why you put gold there, put oil, put timber, everything. I said, waiting. Now only Nigeria day. He said, don't worry, you see the leaders that
that will give them. That will mess everything up.
230 million Nigerians. Really, we have not gotten it right with leadership. I can say very confidently that 85% of our leadership has been wrong.
Right.
If we are,
and it's the truth. Just the truth.
I can tell you that really, it's only just very few.
We have not been lucky with
at all. We've really not been lucky with leadership, and so so that's where I will start. Because again, when you now say, is it the young? Is the solution residing with the youth?
With the youth,
I will want to I want to be very cautious in that.
Right.
The fact that we had the likes of Gowon in their youthful age,
right,
that they led this country, it
became
was
head of state at 29.
Head of state at that very young, youthful age. Several of them, Babangida, several people got leadership pretty young. You know, the Azikiwe, if you look at Azikiwe, you look at all of those, those guys, they were fairly young, fairly young when they assumed leadership. Now, does not necessarily, straitjacketedly, that the youth of today are ready for such leadership. Because when those guys were there, maybe our population was less than 50 million. Right now we have 230. The world was not as complicated as this.
Right.
Yeah, where the global politics, the global, sagacity. There are things that even your body language is saying. There are some things that you should not say. No. So the youth, they may have the energy, but they must be taught leadership. So when you talk about the leadership, how we leadership recruitment, I think that even the topic we just finished about parenting and raising up the family is actually connected with this.
Now you are doing
a child that is not properly raised, to know that I need to be hardworking, I need to have character, I need to have proper habits, I need to love to do. Look, even in my company, There's some, corpers, there's a way core members, there's this core member serving, they just feel it's a place to come and sleep, to chat away their life. I told one, I said, you were sent here to be able to learn, both in character and whatever, that if you are not following instruction, not that I will just stop you. As if I stop you, I mean, it's easy. Yes. I will write NYSC to say and tell them that you have not been of good at all. They could give you extra 6 months. They can give. When that one says, yeah, this must be bad. No, I'm not bad. I'm not. I've been asked to mold you. I'm not. To prepare you for the future. When I see some of those stuff, I say, no, this is not help. It's not going to help you. So you have just best you stay with us for 1 year. If your character, I will ease you out after you go. But will I say I've dropped a very solid team that can take home, to the society? If that is not correct, that is even the basic of all we're talking about. Where each of us are responsible to look at the next generation. You're serving with me for 1 year. I'm going to impact you so well that when you go out there, you're never the same. I'm going to stretch you so that when you get there, your capacity has been stretched. I told her, I said, I said, look, you're going to actually be serving. Yeah, you read accounting, so you're going to be in the account department. But added to that, you're actually going to be looking at other areas. So you definitely. By the time I said, look, you're going to R&D, research and development. I said, how do I do that? I said, look, the Google is there for you. The meta. I said, there is nothing you can pull out. Exactly. And he was looking. I said, sure. And these were the things that we're not privy to. You're not privy to. I said, take it as a whatever that you're able to have one-on-one with the CEO of a company. I said, if it's to some places, you can't just be carrying fire up and down. Exactly. I said, please take it as a meeting. So what am I saying is that each and every one of us, we need to really look at how are we building this great nation. Because when you say, where are we gotten? We have gotten it right from our home to our places of work. Gotten it wrong, you mean? Gotten it wrong from our homes, from our places of work, and even for instance, when they now say, let's us do election. You now see the elite. We say, it's raining. It's during the rain. I cannot enter this thing. During the sun, I'm not coming out. The touts, the area boys, the whatever. You will not be in charge. Exactly. The Megoro, the Meshai, Metro, all the people who don't understand what to look for. They will not bring wrong leader. Elect your leader. And what this one will see is the person that is sharing 1,000 for them and singing. When they collect their 1,000, they go there, file up. And go and vote. See, yesterday. Then you are now thinking, how are we getting it wrong? Look, we're getting exactly it wrong. By the way we live, is our community. Is a totality of it. We need to look at our community of the way we live. With the way we live, and so that can this bring ultimately of what we prioritize? Yeah, of what we prioritize. For example, if you, the average Nigerian, will want to meet the best doctor. Yeah, he will not ask, I am Edo, so the doctor that is going to attend to me, I hope he's Edo. You will not ask. All is looking for who is the best man. Can do it. Exactly. The best man. That's why you say if he hears that the pilot that is going to fly him from Abuja to Lagos, he's from your village, but sometimes his head used to talk. So I will come down. But when it comes to politics, we're just ready to put anybody there. Once they can give us money, and once they come from our place, or they are of our religion, or they are. These are. Yesterday I was. Somebody has said third class. I mean, the people with third class, they are the one that govern the first class. That's it. That's I was somewhere. If you have first class, if you are not thinking about how your society will get better properly, how the leadership of your recruitment and all of that, you've missed it. I was somewhere yesterday. Yeah. It was on leadership to deliver a paper, and younger generation, mid-40s were all there. And one thing that was very strong in my delivery is this: leadership without proper ethics. Yeah, it's a failure. It's failed. Let's take this. Please hold your thoughts. All right. Hello. Hello. Good afternoon. You're welcome, Ahmed from Borno. Yeah,
I'm familiar with that voice now.
In fact, whenever I tune in to Captain TV, I used to feel pleasant because you people are making Nigeria awaken. Honestly,
thank you.
Well done.
Thanks for the kind remarks. Thanks.
You are the other guy is we are on the same page with him. I don't believe in where you come from. What I want is do a right thing.
Correct. Exactly.
This is what I've been advocating every day. I'm a Christian. I'm a Muslim. Doesn't matter. We'll let the person be good. That is all.
That's all.
We're all created by one.
Let him be able to deliver.
Adam and Eve. What is that? Before, when Adam and Eve, who can say what is the tribe of Adam? Or if the first people that were created by God, who can mention their tribe?
Exactly.
All this tribe and all these things came after them. So for that reason, if you know where we are coming from, let us maintain the right thing. And that is all. The holy books are there, guiding us, telling us do the right thing, fear of God. All these things are there. We all know. But the devilish nature of humans will make us forget the right thing and be doing wrong thing. Let's start blaming another person. When we are the first wrong people. Having said that, issue of Nigeria, I'm always emphasizing, our problem is not for United Nations or anywhere. It is we that are the problematic. And we must find the solution by ourselves if really we want the solution to the problem. Recently, my governor, Babagana Zulum, was in the villa to brief the president. He was openly telling the international media that, look, I have to tell him the truth because many people who come to the president, they will not be telling him the truth. So I, as a leader, have to be there. He was in the some of the local government. We have all watched all this on the media now. So, you see, we know the right thing to do. But honestly speaking, we must change our attitude because this is where you cannot change human being, but you can change human attitude from wrong to right. That is what we need in this country. Honestly, holistically, it does not matter from any field of life or you don't want particular sector, mechanical, everything about us, we must change from wrong to right. We are very good. I don't know what really goes wrong by coming to this situation we find ourselves.
Thank you, Mohammed.
Last but not least.
Okay.
They should pay salary and pension for salary. They refuse to pay it. As for the president's instruction, now salary is coming. My friends in the areas are crying that I should help. Talk to Captain TV. Let Captain TV tell this in Abuja they should.
They are listening already. They are listening already.
If you refuse to do that, you not blame people who suffer to vote for Muslim tickets to go away from.
Well done, Mohammed. Well done. Yeah, you've spoken well for them, and I'm sure the right people are listening. All right.
Okay, so yesterday I was saying this. I said the ethics I'm talking about is not just for office ethics, place of work ethics, church delivery ethics on leadership.
Correct.
Mosque delivery on ethics that is about leadership.
Correct.
If we said charity begins at home.
Yes.
Home, like you said, home is not just home as our home. These communities, like you mentioned, they are the homes.
Correct.
To point everybody on what real leadership is all about. If we can get it done in Africa, knowing fully well that these people we are talking to, they are the leaders of tomorrow.
Yeah.
They will have a beautiful job. See, most of these places that are community-based places for teaching people on leadership, they are not doing the right thing.
Yeah.
When all you do is miracle.
Yeah.
And somebody is having bad character.
Yeah. And it just comes from
miracle. And it just comes from miracle. And you're not teaching them leadership. I mean, 100% on leadership. You mess it up, I'll deal with you on the spot.
Yeah. We need to have such a system and let it trickle down from
trickle down.
It must cover all sectors.
And it's everybody's work. I like what you said.
Exactly.
You come to serve with me, sir, there's no space for nonsense.
Yeah.
If you know you are ready for work or you get out.
Yeah. Straight.
I don't have time.
Yeah.
So if we don't instill that right ethics in the mind of this coming up generation, you are in trouble. The leadership in Africa, we continue to suffer.
That's it.
I see some people with incredible, what I would call, they've got skills. This particular copper that I'm talking about, fantastic skill. If it is skill, I score her 80%. But if it is character, I score her 20. And you know something, the character will destroy the skill.
That's true.
Because you want to come, you want to play, you don't want to work, you don't want to be serious, you don't want to.
So you are getting me now.
I said, no, you can't stay around me.
No.
Some people thought I was harsh. I said, no. I said, see a child who is not disciplined. He is an illegitimate son. If you're not disciplined, if I'm not willing to discipline you, to point you to the right whatever, you are an illegitimate.
They don't even like when you point them.
Yes, of course, many of them don't like.
They get angry.
You know why? It's still the faulty foundation. If you see children who have always been raised with discipline, they easily they line up. They are aligned. But children who have been spoiled, children who have always been they are
allowed to speak their mind.
You are do what they want.
Okay, wait.
And they are
I'm going to speak my mind to my father. When he's talking, the whole house is shaking. He will say, Daddy, don't say anything again. My father.
Wait, so how will you do that? All kinds of things.
We are allowing so many things. The West.
I know the thing. They are requesting it there. Because you just see a child, you just can't go and say, he say, I am traumatized. I am.
He goes to
I'm depressed. What is depressing you? One time when my son used it one time, right? He said he's feeling, is it depressed or something? We'll just use that. I say you are not going to work. You are not raising money. What's frustrating you? My wife was saying, hey, take it easy with him. I say, you know something? I initiate loan down. If you're busy,
I said it before. Do you know that the children of the super rich get into what they get into
because they are
everything is just provided. They're so excited.
All this suicide that you see.
By the time some of you even took your children to, even trekking to school is very useful. Going to the school by yourself is very useful.
When we were growing up,
within the time you cannot think of any negative.
It's 4 kilometers.
It prepares you physically.
It prepares you. You are even enjoying it.
Yes, now. You are strong.
You are catching up on the road. Everybody's going.
I think we lose. That's why I say it's a community challenge.
It's a community challenge.
We must also look. I love what they just say. Look, it's not just one side alone. It's everything. The leadership. We have a huge leadership deficit, and I also have to say something.
Is how we recruit.
I'm coming. You use Traore. I'm coming. You use Traore and you put him on your TV. Fantastic. But let me just say, they said if you want to go fast, go alone. But you want to go far, go together. Go. Let me just say this: the military rule is not an exchange for democracy.
Sure.
For me, it's more of correction.
No, I'm coming.
Yes.
Now the issue for
this correct
it's more of correction. A lot of time they also still come and they don't want to go.
They don't want to
and
go.
Also some
because it's very sweet.
I'm coming. Some will even come and loot and go. They are not doing any correction now. I'm coming. So sometimes
they
because
turn out worse.
Only few countries get it right. Like it looks as if he's getting it right, but if he stays for too long, you can't build structure with the military. Which structure of democracy? There is no legislative arm. There is no whatever. So you cannot build because they are saying institutional, whatever. So the issue for me is that while the intervention of the military in that country.
My own is do and go.
Yes, but when you want to do,
you know why?
Yes.
Look at Via.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
If I happen to be in Cameroon and I'm in the military, I'm very, very sure by now, even if it's going to take my life. No. See. There are things. Listen, let me tell you my problem with Nigeria. Nobody wants to die in this country. Everybody is afraid. And the truth is this: if you want the right country, you want the best country, somebody has to sacrifice.
Have to die. True.
The truth is this: if we keep if we continue to be quiet about this matter, the Cameroonians are quiet. Nobody is ready to say anything because the people up there are eating and they cannot be quiet. So
the situation currently works for them. Those who are the
and that is what you see in most of the African countries, because like Nigeria, once it's benefiting you just it's me and my family. Let's just,
and that's very unfortunate.
And
that's why part of the problem is the people's problem, which I also identified as the recruitment system.
2027
the recruitment system.
2027.
For example, why should a continent that is blessed with Patrice Lumumba, blessed with Okonjo Iweala, blessed with Aki Adesina, blessed with global such people, global icon. Why should we have these kind of people as our leaders?
Do you know the challenge? Over 90-something million people have PVC, but only 20-something voted, and out of those 20-something, only 8-point-something determined the leader. Imagine. So out of 93 million, 8-point-something, less than 10% of the registered voter and less than 5% of the population determined the person who is ruling us. So what that means, what that simply means is that, you see, we must sensitize everyone.
The people, and the people themselves must also have the hunger. People also need the hunger to say things must change.
The sensitization is good, but the truth is this: there is something that I have noticed: fear of unknown.
Yeah.
Everybody is afraid of
the unknown.
The unknown.
Yeah.
We need to face it. I have said before, let us face the bull and deal with the bull. Everybody needs to get rid of this fear and do the needful. Because 2023 we have to pack our packages and leave. We don't want to come out again.
We have to leave it here because my process. Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
All right. Okay.
Thank you very much. It's been a wild time. I mean, Adeolu.
Yeah.
And Ambassador Moses, thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
And I want to say thank you to the production team, and thank you, fellow, Nigerians or non-Nigerians who stay tuned to all of this. I hope you had a great time. And guess what? Tomorrow, same time, Macaulay will be here for the Polity, and something better will even come on air. Meanwhile, I invite you to be part of my show in the evening. It's called Matters Arising, and at that point, you can have my own opinion, fresh, raw,
8 p.m.
And everything from 8 to 9. Most likely, Adeolu will be there with me. Big thank you to the production team. God bless you.
Yeah.
At this point, Dayo Omoogun is still my name, and I say to you, bye-bye.
Yeah.